Hey, so I'm back again. Apologies for that. There was a big outage here in Sydney Airport where I am. So I hope you can tune back in again and get those questions. So I did lose some of those questions. So if you posted something on there in the last 3 minutes, then please do ask that question again. And I do apologise. It's just I'm here in Sydney Airport, and there's probably thousands and thousands of people using the internet, and it's pretty poor. So if you did have a question, I do apologise. I've lost that thread, and I'm trying to be as live as I can and trying to make that commitment to be here with you on a Thursday at midday, and even in the middle of my travels I've made that commitment to be with you because that's what I said I'd do. So please, if you did post a question, I think the last one I answered was Starlands, so anybody who asked a question after that, please post that question again and I will endeavour to answer, and hopefully we'll hold the internet while I am answering the questions. So please do post again, and say once again apologies. I can't do much about holding the internet. That's a bit beyond my capabilities. So remember, the questions are all about life mastery. So get clear on your questions, and I'm not doing the psychic work today. I'm not tuning in and getting some psychic unload. Yeah, Georgina, typical Sydney. I lived here for 3 years, just moved up to the Gold Coast about 9 weeks ago after 3 years in Sydney, and I'm loving it. Okay, Sandra, once again, just for clarity, if you haven't listened in already, I'm not doing psychic work. So your question, job front, please. Let's get clear. What do you like in terms of your job front? What do you want to achieve? What's your vision for yourself? This is all about self-empowerment. This is about you getting clear on what you want. So if you have a vision of something you want to do in terms of your work, your vocation, your passion, get clear, write it down, do your vision board, write in a vision board. Start a business, do you want to be an entrepreneur? Entrepreneur world's the best. I think it's a great place to be. I love being an entrepreneur. I love having my own business. It means I can do pretty much what I want, when I want. And it's a hygiene. Hello to you too. So Sandra, get really clear on the question, please. Job front, please. What do you mean by that? That's very generic. What's your vision? What do you want to do? Can I help support you in getting what you want? How do I heal my heart? Kira, how do you heal your heart? So firstly, going to the place of what actually broke your heart. What was the thing that actually took you to that place where you feel like you're actually heartbroken? And then do some psychotherapeutic work to heal that. Is there a conversation that needs to be had? Is there some grief that needs to be allowed? So let it get a bit more specific if you can, Kira, and answer the question. What's actually happening with you in your heart? If you're happy to share that publicly, then please do, and I'll see if I can help you. Because we all get broken hearts, but it's how do we come back from that? And a lot of it's about self-love, self-respect, self-care. And if it's grief, it can take a while. If it's a heartbreak from a relationship, it can take a while. Yeah, Georgina lived there for 10 years, yet I did 3, that was enough for me. So yeah, Kira, let's get a bit more specific on your question. How do you heal your heart? What's actually going on for you? And then I can probably support you and help you in that. So I say to people, try not to be too generic in your questions. The more specific you are in your questions, the more specific I can be in responding and trying to support you in the process. I do this to all my students, all my clients. I say, if it's generic, I probably can't go there as deeply. So just take a moment to be more specific, get really crystal clear. Because the more clarity we have, the more we can change that subconscious thinking, the more we can come out of the old paradigms and into the new paradigm, into the new story, and get rid of the old stories. Because oftentimes it's the old stories that keep us so stuck. They keep us really stuck. So how do we create a new story? Just went through something with my partner, my beautiful wife Arlene, back in January, and we've made an agreement now that if one of us starts to go back into old story, we challenge each other and we say to each other, hey, whoa, slow down, just stop, that's old story, we're not going back there, that's just old story. Relationship breakdown, and I'm a bit lost, I'm pregnant with my son, had a lot of promises made and no results, my partner moved on to a new girl. Look, that's really hard, Kira, isn't it, when somebody leaves you and you have to move on. And if you're pregnant now and you have to do everything by yourself, where's your network, where's your support? And are you doing the grieving, are you doing the healing? Are you coming back to self and doing the self-love? Can you just take this time to take a breath and breathe and bring yourself back to you and be there to nurture and be there for your son, your unborn son? How much time and energy can you put into that and give all that love to you and your child? That will be the focus for me right now. Bringing all that, unconditional love for that child. And what an amazing experience you could be having if you can focus in rather than out on the breakup. and onto the partner with the new girl? Can you bring yourself in? I know it's not easy. I know when I went through a separation many years ago with my first wife, it was like, how can I be there for me? How can I focus back on me? And it's not about being selfish, it's about getting yourself in that stable place again, so that if somebody else comes along for a relationship, you're really, really in tune, and you'll be able to align and vibrate with the next person that comes in, because you're going to be vibrating at the more higher level of self-love. So you're going to be more connected with somebody on a higher vibration, because it's all about how people receive us from the way we love ourselves often. So I would suggest to you, Kira, go into the self-love space. Be there for yourself. Yep. Karma, wanting to move on in a new career, get specific. What new career would you like? Have you done your visioning? Are you really clear? If you had a magic wand and could tap it and say, on Monday morning I'm going to step into a new career, what would you do for a week? What would you do for a week if you could get paid really well for it? What's your vision? You start with the vision and then get some coaching. Come on board. If it's me, I'd love to work with you. Go to my website, adrianhanks.com, book in for a session with me. Let's have a conversation and I can help you. I love helping people in their career decisions. I love vocational coaching. It's one of my favorite things. Getting people into their passion, into their life. Can you see any positive happening for me? Wendy, it depends on your mindset, because we have a choice. Is it a positive mindset or not so positive? Is your cup half full or half empty? So I'm not doing the psychic work there. I just want to keep reiterating that. It's all about self-empowerment. Yeah, I know, Wendy, I'm really sorry it keeps coming out. I'm at Sydney Airport. I'm in the middle of my travels. I'm heading off to Abu Dhabi and then Belarus, but I wanted to commit to this show at midday, which I've done, and the internet isn't quite so good here at Sydney Airport, but I'm still going to persevere. I'm still going to go through. So if I drop out, just tune back in again, and I'll be dropping in and out possibly, but I'm still going to come back to the show until 1 o'clock, because that's my commitment. So yeah, apologies, I can't do much about good old Telstra. So yeah, so just going back to Wendy. Yeah, Wendy, get clear on your vision. What do you want to do? Have you got a coach? Have you got somebody to work with? Have you got somebody to push you into that vision? What's your passion? What do you love doing? What do you want to get paid to do every single day? I get paid to do this. I get paid to work with people, and I get paid really well. I'm not the cheapest coach on the planet, but I'm a damn good one, and people get results with me because you pay for quality. If you want something and you want it, to get it, and then you come on board and get it. So I'm not the cheapest, but I'll tell you, I get results. So if you want results, go to my website, adrianhanks.com, check it out. Book into one of my programs. I've got life mastery programs. I've got mastermind programs. I do one-on-one coaching. So if there's something to tune into, then tune in and let's have a conversation. And I can do that even when I'm traveling, because we have a beautiful thing called technology. But I love helping people. Hey Elizabeth, same for you. Anything for me? Get clear. What's your question? I'm not doing psychic work. I'm not just tuning in and go, hey Elizabeth, I think you're going to get a partner. I think you're going to get a new job. So I want to empower you to ask questions. I really want to empower you to get clarity. Because clarity is one of the most powerful self-empowerment tools we have. One of the most powerful self-empowerment tools we have. Get clear on the question. Bring clarity in and change the subconscious thinking. I don't want to be telling you what I think you should be doing. I want you to find the pathway so that it's empowering for you to say, I chose this path for myself. I chose this path for myself. And I want to be a coach, and I'm going to go and study it. I'm going to get a mentor, I had a coach many years ago, and I said to her, if you could do anything on the planet right now for a few weeks and get paid for it, what would you like? She said, you know what? I've always had a dream of being a lollipop lady, helping kids across the street on the way and finishing school. She said, I don't know why, I just think it'd be one of the most amazing things to do. And I said, well, why don't you just go and do the training? So she did the training, got the white coat, got the lollipop, and for a couple of years in the local school, she was the lollipop lady. And she loved it. She loved engaging with the children. She loved stopping the traffic. It gave her a sense of control. She got paid quite well for it. And she did that for a couple of years, and it led her on to the next thing. Who would ever think of that? A lollipop lady. Seriously. But it was her passion, and we got her there. It took a few months, but we got her there. So it doesn't matter what your dream is, what your vision is. It really doesn't. If you have the vision, have the coaching, have the tenacity, and you have the withal to go and do the necessary work, to do the visioning, to do the planning, to execute it, put it into place, We can pretty much do anything we want. I've been coaching for over 20 years now, and I get up every day and I love it. I love it. So let's get more specific with the questions, please, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, let's get a bit more specific. So Elizabeth, what do you mean, anything for me? Is that physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, in relationship, sexual, intimate, creative, vocational? What are you asking? Let's get clear on the asking. Because then you really empower yourself. It's the first step to empowerment. Is clear thinking, is clear questioning. Yep. So let's see if there's any questions. Fire them through. Keep them coming. Love the questions. Love this show. I love being here with you. I said to Sarah, I'm really committed to doing this show, and it's just a wonderful thing. I think this is my 5th show now. So we're just starting out and getting going, and just loving it. I say live from Sydney Airport today, because I just flew from the Gold Coast this morning. Supposed to have a 6 a.m. but there was horrific high winds in Sydney, so we actually got delayed till 8:30, and I got here about nearly 10 o'clock or so. So I've been here for a couple of hours now, and I fly out at 3 o'clock to Abu Dhabi, and I'm there for a day or so, and then I fly on to Belarus to do some leadership training with Skyway Invest Group, which is a company I'm actually a partner in, and I'm going there to do some training with the CEO, which will be absolutely. When I found out the training was being offered, I put it on my vision board, I wrote it in my book, and I made sure I was going to be one of those 200 people who applied to get there out of hundreds and hundreds of people who put the application in right across the planet. Elizabeth, thanks. Okay, my question is, will I get my business running? Okay, the question is, Elizabeth, yes you will, if you're clear about the vision, if you're clear about the planning, and I'll suggest if you get a business coach, and if you get some support for doing it. Because setting up a business is not easy. You know, what do you want to do? What's your vision? What's your plan? How are you going to execute that? How are you going to put that into place? Who's your clientele? How are you going to get out in the marketplace? What are you going to cost? What are you going to charge? I remember I was working with a lady from Brisbane who was a kinesiologist, and she wanted to start out in the kinesiology, and I think she put out like $90 an hour or something like that, and she wasn't getting any clients. And I said to her, okay, have you used kinesiology? Have you done your muscle testing to actually find out what you should be charging? She said, oh no, I haven't. I said, well, that's a bit silly, because you're a kinesiologist, you should be using the tools of your trade. So we did some muscle testing, because I do a lot of muscle testing, and it came at $75 an hour for kinesiology. So she changed it from 90 to 75, and within a week she was inundated with clients, because she was vibrating at the right level with what she was charging. So it's really important to get clear on your charge and what your service is. Otherwise you're going to miss the boat. If you're not in alignment with that, if it's too low or too high, you're going to miss it, because it's all about being in an alignment with how you are vibrationally in your business. Yep. So Kim, I just came on, I was wondering if you see money coming in for me. Well, Kim, same thing. I'm not doing psychic work today. I want you to get specific on your question. So is money coming into you? Yes, it is if you're focusing on it. Yes, it is if it's in your vision. Yes, it will be if you set yourself up for multiple streams of income. What are you doing right now to attract that money? What are you doing? What are you actually doing in terms of your vision and your planning? Rather than just saying, hey universe, give me $1 million. What are you doing? Like I said, I'm off to Belarus for 3 days leadership training with a company called Skyway Invest Group that I joined 12 months ago, that I've been putting time into. I'm doing financial education through the company. Yeah, I'm reading and I'm watching videos, and I'm really getting clear understanding. And I'm flying here from the Gold Coast to Sydney. Guess who I sat next to? I sat next to an accountant, and we're talking about accounting and money and business from the financial perspective. Now 12 months ago I wouldn't have known what to talk about, because it wasn't my world. So for the last 12 months I've been studying finance, and now I'm off to Belarus for some leadership training with the Skyway Invest Group, where I've actually invested in an education package around finance. I've got some IPO shares, and I've got some STO security tokens that I've invested in. Yeah. So get clear on it. What's your vision around it, Kim? Are you really clear on how that money's going to come? Are you doing the work? Because if we just put it on the vision board and forget the vision board, it's rare that it happens. But if it's on the vision board, we're meditating every day, and we're going out, we're joining, and we're studying, and we're educating ourselves, and we're moving forward, then it's more likely to come in. It really is. this trip to me to Belarus, it's an all expenses paid trip by the company. Yeah, all expenses paid, because I focused on it. Pretty amazing. The company's paying for 200 people to go to Belarus, which is just outside of Russia, by the way, for those who don't know. I was there in August last year, and I'm going back again. So I have a back problem I'm putting in the universe. Yeah, so Kim, you have a back problem. Oftentimes, with back pain and back, it's about support, it is about finance. So there might be a link there for you from an emotional perspective. If things aren't flowing emotionally, it will get trapped down in that lower back. It's a very common place for money issues, for support issues, is that lower back. It really is. So I'd say, it could be that they're connected. So the back will heal when you put the focus into money. If you just put it at the universe to bring money, it may not happen. You have to put in the hard work. You have to put in the focus. Is it on your vision board? Is it in your visioning? Have you got a coach? Are you talking to somebody like myself about how to get that going? Are you investing in some way, even in a small way? Have you got multiple streams of income coming in? Are you charging the right amount for your services? All those questions. So yeah, it's okay, put it at the universe and just hope. It's rare that things come in when we just hope. Because we have to vision, then we have to plan, and then we have to put the plan into action. Yeah. So vision, plan, action. VPA. So if you've got a bit of paper right now, write VPA. Vision, plan, action. And sadly what a lot of people don't do, they don't take action. And then they get disappointed or disillusioned because their vision board isn't working, their prayers aren't working. Yep. Yeah, Kim, would you help me? Absolutely I would. So go to my website, adrianhanks.com, go to the programs, have a look at the programs out there. You can also book in for a free 30-minute consultation with me. I think there's space on there. If there's not, I will get to my computer tomorrow and I can put some new times and dates in there because I am traveling at the moment for next week. So it's most likely when I get back, but I can possibly fit you in while I'm away if it's the right timing in the evening. Otherwise it'll be when I get back in 8 or 9 days time. Not 8 or 9 years, 8 or 9 days. But please go to my website, adrianhanks.com, see my services, have a look what's on offer there. I have different programs. You can do one-on-one work with me. Very, very, very happy to help you. It's what I love doing, and it's what I do really well. I really, really love doing it. And I've helped hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people get on track and stay on track. And I love doing it. I'm passionate about it. It might come across, but I absolutely am. So yeah, would love to help you, Kim. And I know you're going to get results if you tune in and get the support. Because oftentimes, if we don't get the support, it doesn't happen. If we don't get the coach, it doesn't happen. We just stay on the hamster wheel. Because coaches are there to challenge. They're there to inspire. They're there to encourage. And I do all those things. And I love doing it. I love pushing people to that place of feeling that they've achieved something. Because there's no greater reward for you or for me to get that reward, to get that achievement, to get that result. Yep. So yeah, adrianhanks.com, go to that website, Kim, have a look. There's some freebies on there too. There's a free journal on there you can download, and the journal, the Where Am I Right Now journal, is a great resource to use to do your journaling every day, to ascertain where you are right now, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, financially, sexually, intimately, creatively, socially, and with your family. And you can write a little note in there, there's space to do that, then give yourself and ascertain where you are in life, and then each day trying to build that up and try and get to that 80-20 principle where you're living life in an 80% fashion where you're really happy. Anything below 80-20 I think is, it's not enough. It's about getting into that space, 80-20 principle in all aspects of our life. So I hope that helps you, and I really do looking forward to connecting Kim and having a conversation and doing some work with you as well. Really do look forward to that. So any other questions in terms of life mastery? What are you doing right now in terms of your life mastery questions? Physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, sexual, intimate, creative, financial, social. Have you got a question about moving forward, about breaking the old paradigm, creating a new paradigm for yourself, a new story, a new belief system, changing that subconscious thinking? What are you doing? Just a little story while I'm waiting for another question to come up. I shared a little bit earlier about it, but I was in Brisbane last night from 6:30 p.m. on a run for darkness to daylight, which is a run to bring awareness to family and domestic violence. I actually run a foundation called the Blue Wren Foundation that works in and around relationship to try and help conflict in relationship. So I was running there last night, and for the last 2 years I've actually run 10 kilometers, and I made a promise to myself I would do more than that this year, and I would do more than 10 kilometers. And actually last night I ran 23 kilometers around South Bank, around Brisbane. Yeah, and the legs are a little bit tired today, I'll tell you, because I didn't get home until quite late, got to bed about midnight. I was up at 4 a.m. to go to the Gold Coast to get my flight, so I'm a little bit sore, but just the focus was there for me. The clarity was there for me. I did some training. I trained for the last few months, running 8 or 9 Ks three times a week to get myself prepared, to get my body prepared, to get my mind prepared. And then when I did the run last night, I thought I would do over 10. I thought maybe I'd do 12, 13, 14, 15. But when I got to about 10, I knew I could do another 10. I just felt it. Then after 10, I did another 3. I pushed myself that extra 10%. Because if you get into the comfort zone, it's not enough. You've got to go at least 10% past your comfort zone. Yeah, meditation, Kim, a great thing to start with. I actually do meditation teaching. I was trained by a man called Dr. Ian Gawler in Victoria in group meditation and relaxation meditation and mindset meditation. And I've been meditating myself for 25 years, pretty much every single day. I've got a specific meditation I do every single day, the same one. I've been doing for 20 years. And then I've got various other meditations too. It's about clearing the mind. And when you clear the mind, you're not carrying those chattering monkeys and you're carrying that fog. It's a great place. You know, not to put myself on the pedestal, but I can stop, close my eyes and choose to be asleep, not meditation, but sleep in less than 3 or 4 minutes. Doesn't matter where I am, because of my meditation training of closing the mind. So I close my eyes, go into sleep mode, go into a different wavelength of my brain, and I'm asleep. So I'll get on an airplane in a couple of hours and I'll settle down in the airplane because I'm pretty exhausted. I had a couple of hours sleep last night, and I will close down, close my mind, and I'll be asleep for 6 or 7 hours on that airplane because I've trained myself to do so after many years of meditation. So that clarity of bringing oneself in. And if you want to do spiritual work, there's a few people on here earlier on talking about spiritual practice. Well, for me, the first thing about spiritual practice, if you're going to work with spirit beings, you can't do it from a physical 3D perspective. It's not, they don't connect with us in that way. We have to go into the spiritual realm to connect. And that takes a lot of practice, and a good practice for that is meditation. Are you tuning into your guides? Are you discerning about which guides you're working with? Do you know? Have you been, visited them in their home? So years of practice. I've been on my spiritual path for 25 years now. 25. And certainly the first decade, probably the first 10 years, was floating in and out and expanding and preparing and getting ready, having some experiences. And then the next 10 years was trying to bring myself into that self-mastery. And then the last 5 years, I've really, call myself now, a master. That's why I call myself a life mastery expert, because I've been in this field for 25 years. 25 years, that's a very long time. A very long time. And I'm not suggesting I'm a master at everything. It's still work in progress in some ways. But yeah, my life is one of mastery in many, many ways. I do live that 80-20 principle in most of my life, even beyond. And that's not putting myself on a pedestal. That's just being clear. That's just self-love and self-acknowledgement. And I'd like to get people into that space. So if you want to get there too, come on board, adrianhanks.com, check out what I have to offer you, and I'd love to work with you. So any more questions out there? I talk to my angels and I believe they hear me. Yes, and they will absolutely hear you, Kim. How many are there? Who are they? What are your beings? What's the human name for them? Because we humanize everything, of course, and that's okay. That's okay. And who are you working with? What are they? Can you feel them? Can you be really clear that they're there for your highest benefit? And how do you use them? How are you connecting with them? What benefits are you getting from them? Because they do guide us. I know I've been guided by my angels and for a very long time, and then coming in to tune into them, to be clear about them. It's a beautiful process. So the more you practice, the more you're clear, the more you can actually work with that angelic realm. But the analogy I use is a bit like when you go to the ocean. You can put your toe in the water, you can put your ankles in the water, you can go up to your belly in the water, you can swim in the water, and then you can take it to the next level. You can dive under the water. Then you can go to another level where you go snorkeling, which takes some practice. You don't just dive in the ocean with a snorkel if you haven't practiced snorkeling. You might practice in the bath or in a pool, because there's an art to it, and it takes some doing to learn to focus in on the breath. Then once you've snorkeled a little bit underwater, you can go deeper. And once you've done that, you might want to go scuba diving. And that's practice. You don't put on scuba gear without practice. So spiritual work is the same. Instead of going down into the ocean, we go up into the realms. But you don't do it without practice, don't do it without guidance, don't do it without a teacher. Get a spiritual teacher, get a spiritual guide to work with you. I've had spiritual teachers and spiritual guides for 25 years. I belong to an esoteric group, and I have my guides, I have my teachers. Can't do it alone. We get lost out there. It's a big, big universe. We have to get that guidance about getting the sat-nav set, getting people to hold a hand to go across into the spiritual world, over the abyss. Because when you go over that abyss, the beings you meet on that portal, the entry, it takes preparation. And I'd say it's minimum of 2 or 3 years preparation before one can step over into that portal. Otherwise, what you meet is too scary. That's why people are in psych units. There's thousands and thousands of people in psychiatric units who've stepped over the threshold into the spiritual world, have just been freaked out because they weren't prepared. They put on the scuba gear and dive down without getting any training, and they just freaked out because they couldn't breathe properly. Same in the spiritual world. Do the preparation. Do the preparation. If you really want to truly experience the spiritual world, which is not the astral world, and there's a lot I speak about that in my publications, in my writings, in my workshops, because a lot of people get caught in the astral world, in the illusionary world of the astral and the soul realm, and they believe that going over that threshold is preparation work. Yeah, thank you, Kim, and love that people are actually listening, because this is important knowledge, this is important wisdom. It really is. If you really want to prepare yourself, treat it like an education, spiritual education. Start at kindergarten, then go into primary, then go into high school, then go to college, then go to uni, then go get your PhD in spiritual matters. Because that's what it takes to work from beyond this realm. It really does. I meet lots of people out there who are amazing spiritual teachers, who have the wisdom, have the knowledge, have the ability to go to that place. And I also meet hundreds of people who are not there and they believe they do. It's a very illusionary world. And one thing we have to watch out for is the illusion around spirituality. That luciferic, space. It's real. A lot of people spend a lot of time in there. Probably myself too in the early days, believing I was somewhere where I wasn't. So it's about getting absolutely clear. So any more questions out there? I just want to be just checking on my time frame. It's 15 minutes to go on the show. Love to be here. It's nearly 1 o'clock. I'm going to be flying out in a couple of hours, which is really, really exciting. Flying to Abu Dhabi, going to Sharjah, which is one of the Emirate states, going to the Skyway new innovation centre that's being built there. And they're going to be building some new transport structures there. And then in Dubai, there's actually a Skyway rail being built. Also in Moscow, it's being built. And in Belarus, I'll be going to the Eco Park to actually ride on some of the absolutely futuristic train technology that they've been producing and building for the last few years, and it's going to be absolutely wonderful. So yeah, if you want to check that out for yourself, if you want to get involved in a global network and do some financial security education for yourself, skywaycommunity.com is my website. You can sign up for free and join my team. It won't cost you anything if you don't want to, and there's lots of financial education in there. And then if you want to come on board and buy an education package and get some of those pre-IPO shares to set yourself up for the future, you're welcome to, but you don't have to get the free education. It's an amazing thing. It's a great company, and the way we work is on global networking and global crowdfunding. So we've raised over $150 million in the last 4 years, and we've got projects happening all over the world, and we've got a portfolio of 28 different companies that we're invested in. Pretty amazing company. I've been involved for about a year, and I'm just absolutely loving it. And it's heading off. I was in Kuala Lumpur a few months ago, been to Belarus once, this is my second time, and in October I'll be going to India for the 5th year anniversary of Skyway Invest Group. So it's going to be, it's an amazing journey I'm on right now in terms of bringing that financial awareness into my being, because it's been a bit lacking. It's been a bit lacking in my world. So my latest thing is financial education. Having that millionaire mindset and going for it. And it's working in incredible ways. So I'm getting paid to go to Belarus, all expenses paid, to do some training there. So if you want to focus on something, vision boarding, visioning, getting clarity, it's what I do. If you want to do some with me, adrianhanks.com, go to my website, go to the programs page. So I've got some mastermind programs, got some life mastery programs, got a different things happening. You can do some one-on-one work with me. If you want to do some physical work, I've got a physical program there. If you want to be an author, I've got an author program there. So there's lots and lots on offer there, and it all boils down to one thing. You get your vision, get your plan, and then get into action. So VPA, vision, plan, action. So for the last 10 minutes, any more questions out there in light of life mastery and where you might be in your life right now, and what you might need or would want some support on to get you back on track, or to get you on track. Anything in there that you're needing to hear. And so I'm not doing the psychic work. This is about bringing the question and the clarity, so I can give you an answer with clarity as well. So I'll just give you a moment just to think of your question, and if you just type it in there, and then I'll see if I can give you an answer. And I'm live from Sydney Airport into the International Lounge, because I'm flying out in a couple of hours. So yeah, the internet just drop in and out a little bit. It's been pretty good. I think it's only dropped out 4 or 5 times, and it comes on pretty quick. So if it does drop out again, apologies for that. I can't be responsible for Telstra. But see if there's any questions for you. And I have a question for you while I'm waiting. Is, have you been to my website yet, adrianhanks.com, and gone to look at the videos, downloaded the free journal? And if you go, there's some really good videos in the media page as well. There's a really good one I pointed out to somebody. I was working on somebody the day before yesterday on boundaries, and there's a great video on there about bullying, which is totally in alignment with boundaries. Because when we have soft boundaries, when we don't have healthy boundaries, our perception is that people bully us. And I just simply don't do bullies, because it's not part of my paradigm. It's not part of my paradigm. I just don't let bullies into my energy field. So I'm sort of a master of my own destiny, because people don't coerce me, they don't bully me. They don't get me to use their ability to try and coerce me into anything, because I'm too solid in my being for that. Yep, look it up, Kim. Yeah, adrianhanks.com. Go and have a check it out. And there's always free resources on my website for you. So I like to give as well. I like to give and give and give and give, and get that energy flow. Because my vision is for everybody on the planet to be more conscious, for everybody on the planet to be more self-determined, for everybody on the planet to have more life mastery in their life. It's my absolute vision. Lisa, how do you protect your energy field from lower vibrations? Okay, so there's a little thing called the 3 Little Pigs, Lisa. It's a great little story. And there's a wolf that tries to get into the house. And the first little pig builds his house of straw, and the wolf just gets rid of it, huff and a puff and a puff, because it's not strong. And then the second pig does the sticks, and the wolf comes along, huff and puff, and blows them down because it's not strong. And then all 3 little pigs get together with the third pig, who's built the house out of bricks, and the wolf cannot get in because there's a really strong defense system. There's a really strong boundary. So for me, lower energy vibrations can't get in because I'm on a really good healthy diet. Yeah, I'm not suggesting you need to do this, but I'm vegan vegetarian. I don't do alcohol. I don't do drugs, not even Panadol. I meditate every day. I keep myself fit. I do my yoga, do my swimming, do my running, do my visioning, have my mentors. I make life choices where I'm actually high vibration. And then lower vibrations can't get in. It's an illusion that lower vibrations can get in if you're high vibration. They can't. They can't get in. The wall is too big for them. It's too strong. So I say to people, if you want to stop lower vibrations than coming in, you have to build yourself up and be clear on your boundaries. And I have a saying that I share. If it's not invited, it's not allowed in. Physically, emotionally, mentally, or spiritually. So if I don't invite it in, it's not allowed in. My vibration is such that it's so strong. So strong. If somebody walks into a room and they try to get into my energy field, they can't get in. Because I don't let them in. My force field is too strong. I'm quite a strong energy field. And it's strong because I look after my physical, emotional, mental and spiritual health every single day. I don't eat crap, not very much, very minimal. I don't do alcohol, I don't do drugs. I do a lot of mental work. I do a lot of spiritual work, I do a lot of physical work. So I ran 23 Ks yesterday. I do my yoga, do my stretching, do my walking. I go bush, I have fresh air, listen to good music, have good people around me. So the question, I hope that's answered for you, Lisa. Raise your vibration. Look at your diet, look at your health, look at your lifestyle. And if you raise your vibration, nothing can get in. Only if you let it in. Only if you let it in. Yeah, it's something you have to work on. We all have to work on it. But Lisa, work on it every single day. Every single day. Daily meditation. Write down what it is you're eating. Go to my website, get that journal, free journal on my shop, on my adrianhanks.com, and start journaling. It's empowering to journal. And then you can get a sense of what you're doing well and what you're not doing well. But health and well-being, is all we really have. Are you looking after yourself? Have you got a health and wellness coach? If not, come on board. I'd be happy to work with you. Let's do some work together. Join one of my programs. Get you into the 80-20 principle so that nothing can get in. Yeah, I hear it all the time. Something's attached to me. Well, it's because you let it in. It's because your vibration wasn't high enough. Because you haven't done the physical, emotional, mental, spiritual work to actually put up the boundary. Yep. Minding my friend's dog who runs, she's a great influence on me. Yep, good to have a pet to run with, because animals can inspire us, can't they, to keep us. Hey, back again. Yeah, dropping out a bit here at Sydney Airport, live from the international terminal, because I'm flying out to Abu Dhabi in a couple of hours. Yeah, so Kim, having that dog there, keeping fit. But Lisa, coming back to that, is about you making the choice to be the highest vibration you can. So have you got a daily chores list? Have you got your daily list of what you do every single day? Are you having an amazing, healthy breakfast? Are you stopping to relax? Are you stopping for meditation? Are you doing some yoga? What are you doing? Get clear on that, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. And I'm telling you, they can't get in. If you've got a wall of straw sticks, yes, they will get in. But if it's solid, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, there's no way it can come in. Nothing can come in unless it's invited. So that'll be the practice. Daily practice. So I've been practicing this for 25 years now. So I've got a pretty solid wall. Not much gets in. The only time it gets in is if I forget to do the practice. If I forget to do my meditations, if I'm feeling low, if I'm giving myself a hard time, or I get a bit lazy. And then, the negative thoughts come in. And then I feel that negative energy, because it's everywhere, But how big is your energy field? Yep. Mo Way, I hope I'm pronouncing that properly. It's good to be reminded. Sometimes I need reminding too. I really do. But it's about how do you focus in to stay strong? Well, daily. You don't just go and do it once a week, Don't go to church once a week and forget the rest of the week. I don't go to, the physical church. I go to my spiritual, internal church. But I go there every single day, as much as I can. Hey, spiritual events directory, must be Sarah, I reckon. Hi, Sarah. Good to have you on here, Sarah. Just talking about all things life mastery, of course. Yeah, Moe, great. I'm glad to pronounce that right. Names are really important because vibrationally, what we call ourselves is really powerful. I sometimes meet people, maybe they're called Susan or Sue, and I go, well, what do you prefer to be called? And they go, I don't know. It doesn't matter. I said, well, actually it does, because when you're clear on your vibration of what you want to be called, you put up that energy field. So I'm really clear. I'm Adrian. I've had previous names before, and some people call me Aid or Ado and things. I say, my name's Adrian, because I'm really clear about the vibration of that. It's a strong, powerful vibration. So I like to hold my name, Adrian. But sometimes, you know, family and things in an endearing way call me other things. But if I meet somebody, I say, hey, my name is Adrian. Really clear about it. Hey, Donna, hi. Great to see you on here. And Donna's going to be on the show too, which is absolutely fantastic. You're having a show as well, Donna. I'll be tuning into that whenever possible. It's absolutely fantastic. Yeah, Kim, I will absolutely enjoy my trip. I struggled with that my whole life, and I had a nickname as a child. Yeah, and nicknames can stick, you know, particularly if they're negative ones. So it's about telling people, hey, that's not who I am anymore. Getting clear on the voice, getting clear on the boundary. I've got an old name that I used for a long, long time. And some people who knew me then still call me and I say, oh, I don't call myself that anymore. I'm actually Adrian now. And they'll say it again. I said, look, I'm being really clear with you. I don't go by that name anymore. My name is Adrian. I'm really, you know, that boundary is strong. Otherwise, they take something of me, of who I truly am in my vibration. Yep. Yep, get into your true name. And it's okay if you have a spirit name too. I have a spirit African name that I use when I'm in Africa, because it's part of the energy I'm in when I'm in Africa. Yeah, Umbandani is my African spirit name, Umbandani. And sometimes I'll use that if I'm introducing myself to somebody, particularly if they're a Xhosa or a Zulu, Umbandani, because they know what that means in their language. Yeah. But here I'm Adrian. Yeah, and I'm really clear about it. So when I'm in a particular environment, you can call yourself something different. You might have a sannyasa name or a spiritual name. That's okay as long as the vibration's strong. Haha, unique vibrations. Haha, here I am. Good to see all the unique vibrations. Good to see you there, Donna. And Donna will tell you all about it. You know, we've done some work in terms of bringing that power in. And Donna's really clear about her name, who she is, and her vibration is really strong. And she's a unique vibration. She is Donna. So, you know, there's a living example of that. What does your spirit name mean in Africa? So Umbandani means man of honor. So yeah, it took me a lot to actually own that, because sometimes I don't always feel 100% honorable, because I've got a shadow too and I'm working myself. So it was a very powerful name to be given. The Umbandani, man of honor, in the Shona language. And whoa, you know, very, very powerful. When I carry that, I have to be purely in my being, otherwise I won't use it. So if I'm not centered, if I'm not in alignment, I won't use it, because I have to carry that with honor, that name. It was given to me by, you know, a group of men. And yeah, I have to carry that. But the honor of being called that, Umbandani, you know, Adrian from Australia. So very, very powerful. Yes, we are clear, Adrian. It is journey in victory. Yep, absolutely. It's very impactful. So I'm just going to bring this to a close, and how I'd like to close this is just with a couple of minutes of focus, because I love meditation, and some of you may be meditating, some of you may be not, some of you may be just a bit lazy in the meditation, some of you may be looking for a new meditation. So I'm just going to give you a brief meditation, and I call this the third eye meditation, because when you do this third eye meditation, you can close out all other thoughts. But one little cautionary thing I'm going to share with you is, if you meditate here on the third eye, it can become quite intense, it can become quite painful. So just a little word of warning that if it becomes intense, just back it off a little bit, don't go deeper, just back off the pain, because it can become really intense. And in the way I'm going to share it with you, I'm going to invite you to make it a little bit more intense if you choose to, but if you don't want to, just back off and don't go into that intensity, because it can be so one of the most powerful, intense meditations I know is to power right into the third eye here. So just for 2 minutes to finish the show, let's tune into the third eye. So closing your eyes, as long as you're not driving, getting yourself a nice comfortable position somewhere, just regulating your breathing, and just looking backwards with your eyes up into your third eye. So rolling your eyes backwards in your eye sockets a little bit, and staring back into your third eye with your physical eyes. And bringing your full attention to the third eye region. You may experience some feelings, some colors. some movement. You might see some lights. Everybody's different for what they experience. Just accept what you're experiencing right now. And then I invite you to just roll those eyes back again and just go a little bit deeper. And a bit deeper. And choose a tiny little pinprick spot right in the middle of that third eye. And focus in on that. If it gets too intense, just back off a little bit. If you want more intensity, just go into it. Full focus. And once you're there, if you want to make this really intense, and if you want to, just licking your finger and just dabbing that third eye with a little bit of saliva off your finger, and then tune back in again really deeply. And just feel the intensity of that saliva on your forehead. It might become too much intense. If it is, just back off and open your eyes. And for those that you wish to continue, just focusing on that wet spot. And breathing into it. And breathing in. That's good. Staying focused on the third eye, on the intensity. Whoa. So how did that feel for you? I love that meditation. I love that one for about half an hour. And if you really want to get intense, have a little container of cold water next to you, maybe even some ice cubes in it, and dip your finger in that and put the cold water on your third eye. But I say I wouldn't do that straight up, because if you're in a deep, build it up. Don't jump into scuba diving before you've snorkeled, before. So I want to thank you everybody for being here. It's on the hour, it's 1 o'clock. I'm going to be flying out of here in 2 hours time to Abu Dhabi on the way to Belarus. Please go to my website adrianhanks.com, and as much as possible I will be here next Thursday, depending on what's happening. So I really do hope to be on here. If not, I will have to miss a week, but I'm really going to try my hardest to commit to be here, depending on the time frame and what I'm doing in Belarus. So I'll see you definitely in 2 weeks, but hopefully next week as well. See you very soon. Love and blessings to you. Ciao.